Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Shanghai Major Qualifiers. We're switching on over to China. I thought you were going to do that. You faked me out. Maybe I faked myself out.
I believe in my teammates. I'm just here to support.
Oh, I've seen you in pubs. You support every game. You buy every ward. You have minimum net worth. It's classic LD.
It's in my name.
It's wonderful. Well, we're going on into China now, and Newbee facing off against CDEC.A. And actually, apparently, we're already in the draft. Holy Toledo, right on into it. As we're going to see some interesting picks coming out here. Phoenix, as well as a Night Stalker, Ember Spirit, Razor, into the first pick, Faceless Void, Earth Spirit, and the Vengeful Spirit. Blaze, you're all about this Faceless Void life. What do you feel about it?
Well, I think it's mostly a denial pick here. They had the first pick opener. I've talked a lot about triple threat yesterday, but it's kind of a quad threat. The Razor's picked up so frequently that you can talk Night Stalker, Razor, Void, and Earth Spirit as the top four, and under those circumstances, they ban out. Two are banned out by Event for themselves. And then the Void gets picked up here. So it's good. It's going to be effective in this game. Obviously, very difficult to kill in the off lane, and it brings a lot to the mid to late game in terms of off lane potential. Some people still run him carry, but it's pretty uncommon. But yeah, I think it's also a denial pick, making sure that September's not able to take that to the off lane. Although, of course, they are also banning out his Phoenix, which is his most common pick by far.
Hey, Brian. Are you hearing that?
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub.
Fix, please.
Oh, God!
I can't deal with that voice in my ear for an entire cast. I'm going to come back there.
Oh my goodness. Well, starting it off really good with the Fenvers and Newbie and the Rick and Morty joining us as well in this cast. So Skywrath Mage, this seems to me like a pretty good little pickup here to deal with Earth Spirit, this hero that wants to roam all around the map.
Yeah,
And
silence is great here. I think that's the key point. And then, of course, it's good with the Chronosphere. So.
And Lei loves this hero. Lei's actually probably one of the most commonly picked supports for him, and among all the Chinese support players, he's definitely the top Skywrath there. He plays it very frequently, syncs up with the Void very well. So yeah, I expect Lei very happy to be able to draft this for himself and be able to justify it.
Yeah, I'm curious how much they want to commit towards the building the team around the Chrono. We've seen some teams go even double down with like a Death Prophet. I prefer the drafts where they don't overdo it, but it really depends on your confidence. I will say, and I know you and I have both discussed it, Blaze, in a couple of the casts the past few days, is that Death Prophet picks are not working very well right now in China on average.
No, yeah, especially in China. I mean, I think I've seen at least one in each region that's just failed miserably, but in general, it seems like China knows how to put pressure out on it. It's going to be one of those heroes that in their matchmaking pubs at a high level, they're going to be seeing it a lot, and they're going to stomp it a lot. They're going to find the response. And I feel like the response is just heavy pressure, especially if there are no supports that can rotate quickly. We've seen it work a little bit when people really cover their bases and make sure they can at least TP respond, if not be there ready and waiting to cover the Death Prophet. But there have been so many matchups where they've just straight up failed. So Death Prophet still going to get banned out in the end. You mentioned obviously the strength with the Chronosphere. Obviously there's pros and cons to it, but the fact is, if you don't pressure the Death Prophet, she is beastly. So it is definitely worth the ban.
And I think that sort of harkens back to the general idea of being able to ban to have to get rid of the problem of that hero. Because even if you do end up shutting down in the laning stage, you still have the issue where if she's able to get the level 6 up, and then you get the Dream Chrono, and then you get the Dream Exorcism, there's that comeback potential. And I have a feeling that based upon the Earth Spirit pickup and the Skywrath Mage pickup, who controls the laning stage is going to become very important, and you want to be able to make sure that you win those lanes quite heavily.
Look at these bans. These are two heroes that I thought Newbie might want.
Yeah,
the Zeus and the Gyro. Really good at dumping damage into Chrono, and generally with Void, nowadays you look for him just to be purely control and for other heroes to dish out the damage, but interesting to see Newbie being the one banning those out.
Yeah, I mean, one aspect of it is that the Avengers do have the first pick in Phase 2 here, so if the Gyrocopter is a high value pick from both sides, it's something they don't want to be giving away at the same time as they want it. Of course, we have seen how pick up multiple heroes that are similar to the Gyrocopter in terms of early tempo, but do you feel that he has any strong carry picks that actually dumps into the Chrono, that actually is able to do damage from long range?
How?
Yeah.
A lot of them
We've seen a lot of the Jug.
Exactly. That's kind of like the
And
Omni
that's
Slash can, but like since
not
since the
good
range got nerfed and you can't actually do it from.
I don't think it's good synergy at all on average.
I like
That could
ban.
have been someone that did.
Yeah, definitely. And like a lot of the ones that are left that can fight early, Juggernaut and the PL, they just get like, what are you gonna do? Throw in a Phantom Lance or something like that?
There's Morphlane who's not too bad this game, but
Ooh.
Avengers. Look at this, going for Lady Dusa. Invoker is still out there. We used to see that as like one of the go-to, and I think Invoker actually does go well with Void. It's not. The one thing with Newbee is they've not really been running Moo on many carries. I think we saw a handful of his Ember towards like the very end of the last patch, but outside of that, generally he's on more of that utility mid. But Invoker, great against Dusa, could be really nice to dump damage into Chrono, but they're looking for the damage from the support, so they get the Lion, which also does make sense.
Yeah, a lot of value in that. The mana drain even can be considered damage against Medusa more directly because of that mana shield. But it's worth noting, of course, that they do have one defensive tool against the Chronosphere here in the Vengeful Spirit's Nether Swap. The Earth Spirit, even with Ags, isn't able to pull out of Chronosphere just based on how the spell's coded. But if you are in a really tough spot, you still can at least swap out. Along with that, I think that Medusa is probably in my top 2 for heroes that can survive through a Chrono really effectively. I mean, you all can look at Wraith King, and of course, if he has mana and reincarnates, then he survives, quote-unquote. But more so, you look at Medusa and Morphling, with the Strength Morph in the Chrono or just the raw effective HP.
Now, this is a bit of a forgotten hero.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that this seems pretty good, though. Considering that now we've taken the Medusa and the Vengeful Spirit, I'm assuming that we're seeing this Clockwork being played in the offlane role and then Earth Spirit roaming. Picking up somebody that's going to be able to survive a gank in the mid lane to me seems strong, although of course you need to be careful about the silence that comes out from Earth Spirit. And do you think that we're going to be seeing the Skywrath Mage just sort of sit mid, or is he going to try and roam around and find kills?
I think he's going to try to judge Avengers' movement early. He's going to try to predict where that Earth Spirit's going to be and try to have a response therein, because obviously just sitting on the lane, Arcane Bolting against the Clockwork does something, but it's not going to completely shut him down as he just uses the power cogs to pull back the wave. So all in all, I think Skywrath will probably start top, but a mid-rotation from him is probably going to be in response to the Earth Spirit doing the same. Yeah, I think the Queen of Pain pick is pretty good. Moo, Queen of Pain has been just historically really solid, and it's going to be able to kind of start controlling the tempo of the game, ultimate to ultimate. The concern I have is that Earth Spirit. If it's really good Earth Spirit play coming in from CDEC, then they actually should be able to find multiple kills on this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, that silence is really effective against a lot of these heroes, actually. If Earth Spirit goes off, like he can really ruin their day.
So can't Newbee just pick PL in the last stage here and get that Diff Blade up against Medusa? Is there anything that's really harming that?
It's okay. Sylar... Why am I talking about Sylar? I'm tripping. As soon as the word came out of my mouth, I'm like, what the hell am I talking about? I still liked Invoker for Newbee. It's just not really a HoW hero. I am curious if there's any chance we see a one-position Void. It's not been the case at all in China, but it could be an interesting curveball here.
Yeah, I really don't like it. I mean, okay.
Oh, this is the old school way. The Troll Void. We're just missing the Magnus, and we would have the full Navi when they were trying to get back before they blew the whole damn thing up, where they would just get the... it was the Funnic Void, the Dendi Mag, and the Havos Troll every game. And they actually managed to win games then when they couldn't win with anything else, but those days are long gone.
Very interesting indeed. And we're actually going to be seeing Moo right now on the Troll Warlord, HoW going to the safe lane with the Queen of Pain. Now, HoW's actually recent win rate on Queen of Pain in the past 2 patches has been really bad, but it's still, I think the draft overall makes a lot of sense and should be able to accomplish quite a bit. As far the mid matchup, Troll Warlord versus Invoker, any favorites?
Is that the matchup mid?
Yeah, I believe so.
Is HoW's playing the Queen of Pain?
Yes.
I think that Invoker can probably own that matchup depending on the build he goes. I guess the only thing you have to be worried about is...
It's hard to hit him with the melee axes in general. He does have relatively poor move speed, but he outranges Troll pretty heavily, so... A lot of it comes down to positioning. But I mean, I have no idea. We have not seen this matchup in forever, so...
I haven't seen that hero in forever. What the hell? Troll Warlord, man.
Obviously great at taking Roach. It makes Void a lot more relevant as a late game carry, just by his nature. Doesn't really match very well against Medusa or Invoker for me in terms of like mid-game fights. They got a lot of control to shut him down. But if he gets a BKB, he could at least run on the Invoker and cause problems.
Is there any chance that we see like a Diff Blade come up on
I can
Troll?
see it. I don't think like you absolutely have to go it, especially like in the first 20 minutes of the game.
Void could go for it too. Manta Diffusal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually been
That was the
pretty
build that
popular build.
Funnick was doing versus Dusa back then. So
Huh.
I think that's quite possible.
I definitely think they're going to be looking into something of the sort come mid game,
Or the Necro Void.
even though they'll avoid it for the beginning of the game.
The good old before TC was terrific carry when he was just regular old TC. Tyler Cook. He liked that build.
What a player. What a player. Well, the spam starts as probably not a whole heck of a lot of things more annoying than a Skywrath Mage arcane bowling you in the face, but giving the Troll a little bit of trouble here at the very start as Perfect World servers doing us good.
I think this time it is actually the connection to the server, not us, but we'll keep an eye on it, guys. If it gets really bad, hopefully we'll try to reconnect and sort it out. But for now, Troll is getting the help mid, and this is the nice thing about the Queen of Pain safe lane. You don't really need a supporter, so Skywrath can spend a little more time assisting a relatively weak laner against Invoker.
Too late, putting out a lot of wards there on the Radiant jungle, just making sure there's no pulling going on
Are
whatsoever.
none of them showing up on the minimap?
Yeah, unfortunately not. So it's hard to read once the camera moves away. But it looks like he's blocked out 3 different camps, and he's just making sure that essentially the Earth Spirit is getting nothing this game. Like, we were worried about the Earth Spirit kind of snowballing momentum, but if he's just sitting on a lane without any jungle play coming for him, it's just going to be very slow rolling for him. He's going to have a level deficit very early on.
So where is the Iron Talon, man?
Haven't seen it for the Clockwork. I could still see it for too late, but it'll take a little bit of time.
I think it's worth it to sort of wait and see if you're going to be able to get a decent amount out of the lane. I mean, remember the Tide Hunter just went straight on into that jungle in the other game that we were casting, but to me at least it feels like if you're able to be a Void that can sustain in lane a little while, those first creep waves are pretty important.
Queen of Pain and Troll having a really good time early on.
Top rune, Skywrath Mage trying to go right up to the rune against the Clockwork. That's not going to work, and that is going to be... Oh, he got up to the bounty rune and walked away. That's, I feel, somehow a mistake by the Clockwork. Skywrath is fast on his feet as far as movement speed goes, but still, the Clockwork, if he's in the right position, should be able to punish that pretty heavily.
Well, Void, Vengeful Spirit running in is just going to trade a couple of right clicks here, and currently 2 points in Time Walk as well as Time Dilation, and those are the new sound effects for Void in case you guys hadn't heard them. We end up seeing
It's the new Arcana, Pinball Void.
Exactly.
All right.
That's your
Initiation.
roll on mid. Still rolling the never-ending rolling boulder from Mr. Victoria, or Miss Victoria.
Nice little play there, able to get it. They keep on trading hits here. There's the stun, magic missile. Thinking about right clicks, but there's no real way that they kill him here as long as they've got the time walk away.
Another go on mid here, but it's not going to connect the way they want it to, and in fact, it's going to be turned around. There's going to be some good magical nukes coming out onto the Earth Spirit, but with the Cold Snap and the Zoning Meteor, it is going to be a full pullback.
If it was like 30 degrees more just towards the right side, I think you actually get the kill there on move.
At least get a ton of damage. It is kind of a short meteor with the 1 Wex, but it still should be bring him down to critical HP.
We've got creeps trading sides here as Perfect World continues to do Perfect World things.
I kind of like that they switched up the match against the Queen of Pain and the Troll. Like, I do think that the Queen of Pain can really suffer against an Invoker if you're able to get that Cold Snap combo off and just continue to drain away the mana. It's really rough. But meanwhile, bottom lane, there's the stun initiated again, just trying to burn through that Void's mana as well as the regen that he's got as much as possible.
They have no kill potential here unless the Earth Spirit comes with a silence, and even then it's very unlikely at this stage, I would say.
And even with the clarity, the Vengeful Spirit is still, like, I feel like more inefficient using the Magic Missile compared to the Time Walk.
Yeah.
But a really good point there with the Queen of Pain in the safe lane. If you imagine not just the Invoker matchup against the Queen of Pain, but more specifically how Victoria has been playing it on the Air Spirit. 2 or 3 times rolling into mid. If that's a Queen of Pain, she's actually in trouble each time with that Cold Snap.
Troll can just man up, he's usually in melee form when he sees someone rolling at him, and he can tank it.
Definitely. Well, still pretty quiet here. Maybe we end up seeing eventually the Earth Spirit try and rotate on down to the bottom lane and find a kill there on Void. Possibly then you're going to be able to get something, but again, if you're not able to get that, like if you stack the stun and the silence down, you're going to be able to get the full duration of the damage out, which could make it at least a little bit cumbersome. But meanwhile, up in the top lane, they're going to be able to jump here on top of Clockwork. Lots of damage, catches them in the cogs, but that's going to be first blood as How picks it up Really
Those
nicely
were not
executed.
the Kongs you're looking for, as our observer is quick to let you know.
And that's unfortunate. I mean, the Clockwork trying to stay in a reserve position, and they only have to commit the one support along with the Queen of Pain to bring him down. It's going to make him very wary. He immediately TPs back to lane. He needs his level 6 as quick as possible. But I feel like if he doesn't have vision off to the eastern front there where the line approaches, he really just needs to play it back.
It's a pretty terrible matchup. Even without the supports there, Quap is always going to dominate you in lane, but this is about as dominant as it gets. 34-13 versus 2-1 without much support help. Like, aside from that rotation, it's mostly just been Hal getting it done on his own, but they are making a rotation. They want to slow down. The Queen of Pain has the Sonic Wave ready. This is going to be a tough kill. Are they looking for a support instead? Now they get the ward down. They're scouting things out a bit. I don't know if they can actually kill the Quap.
Yeah, and it seems like they're uncertain about that as well. They want to just get a quick pick on the Lion, so that would give space to the Clockwork here. Queen of Pain does blink, so that being on cooldown puts her in a little bit of trouble, but I think they're going to keep moving away from the lane. So instead we're going to be watching the smoke play down bottom. Chuan and Lei, Skywrath and Lion, a lot of nuke potential here.
They should realize that the Lion and them are smoking up because the Lion wasn't in the jungle at all, and now they're going to be able to wrap around here onto the Medusa, jump forward. It's going to be a couple right clicks. They also throw out the Earth Spike. The silence is down, and that's going to be a kill. So really nice rotation there, dodging the smoke gank up top and then able to make something of it in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I don't think the Medusa really has like the skill point she needs to survive anything or even make that last a little longer. Right now she just seems to be going for the Mystic Snake. 1 point will probably be put in the Mana Shield if it hasn't been already, but otherwise she just doesn't have the levels. Like, this Void has actually hit 6 far before her.
Hey Brian, any luck with the servers, or have we just given up on that?
Okay.
Alright, maybe we should switch to the second one and constantly reconnect the first one. I don't know. If you don't mind, maybe we can try, but... Okay, so we're trying to reconnect on our backup observer PC, guys, and apparently it's just as laggy. So we're doing what we can here, but we may be stuck with the lag for at least this game.
We're trying to make it for you, ladies and gentlemen. Never fear, we'll never give up, never surrender in your enjoyment of this match. As we wait for...
I like your enthusiasm.
Gotta have it, right? That's what it's all about. As the kick comes out, not quite sure if the stun's going to hit. They do end up getting there on top of Chuan, but the quick Hex, quick fingers, and Earth Spirit's gonna have to
Cool
walk
news
away.
is you don't have to wait until 90 minutes for the game to break. It's already broken at 1 minute. That's the one benefit.
Sure enough.
You
So
can trip right away.
Oh my goodness.
The Hadouken? No, easy time walk out.
yeah, that's such a good spell. I mean, there's so much that you can do to really just negate hit trading. Oh, Earth Spirit's actually going to go for a play here with the Rolling Boulder down towards the bottom rune. The Void seems to be okay, but we'll never know.
There you go. That's actually going to be a kill. Medusa picks it up. Meanwhile, Sonic Wave committed. That's going to be a quick couple of kills as Void does fall for the life of it, but Earth Spirit and Venge are going to go down as well. Nice pickup there with the first usage of the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, like the rotation a lot from Hal. Getting active early. I'm going to give the troll a safe play now.
Oh, Iron Man caught inside the cogs again. Not really what he wants here with the Fairy Fire. Tries to man up. Oh my gosh, it is going to be a 1-for-1, but the Troll Warlord picks up the kill before the creeps bring him down.
Very nice grab there. And Hal already out for vengeance. Looks like he is going to rush an early Orchid. Great item against Earth Spirit and Invoker, I would say especially. So with the pace he's going to get it at, he can take over the game.
So what do you think about that skill build there? Not getting any points in the Shadow Strike and just maxing out the Scream and the
He wants
blinks.
to just maximize his team fight damage, and he has plenty of kill potential already when the Lion comes into the lane early, so I think it's a good adjustment compared to what we normally see to maximize their mid-game team fight impact.
So we're going to be seeing the Mystic Snake fully maxed out now to the 2 points of Mana Shield for Flyby. He's actually going to be able to get involved in fights a little bit. If he's got like a lot of Magic Stick charges from the Skywrath, then he should be able to be pretty confident in his durability, as long as he's got some damage behind him from maybe the Exort Invoker.
Perfect world, please. Have mercy.
Por favor.
I just want to watch Dota, not a slideshow.
So what do you think about the changes that ended up being brought about with Medusa? It was just the change in terms of the Mystic Snake damage and how it's attributed? you kind of like that as far as her? I mean, obviously still a late game powerhouse.
Yeah, it sounds good. I haven't really played with it well enough to really understand the full effect of the changes. I mean, you can still farm the Satyr camp and get the full mana boost back. So essentially, whenever you hit the 4 Satyrs with your Mystic Snake, you'll still get a full mana bar. But yeah, we'll have to see if it actually does dramatically affect her late game ability to stay alive when she uses Mystic Snake in fights.
Well, looking like they want to try and go for an initiation here. Skywrath Mage as well as Hao Chuan.
He's
on the
actually
area.
he's fairly squishy with the build he's gone for, getting the early Rain of Health and rushing the Lincolns.
They've got Finger up.
They'll need to hit the full combo, but they can definitely kill him, as they did reveal Chuan. I think the smoke wore off anyway. But instead, they're going to jump in on the backside. Ember Spirit, or not Ember Spirit, Earth Spirit rolling in onto the Skywrath Mage. In September, it looks like he will end up going down here. Chuan trying to retreat out. How as well, but they get the Queen of Pain kill. That's the big grab. Looks like September may fall on the retreat out. No, he barely survives behind the tower. And elsewhere, Lei and Lei are getting caught out a little bit with each other. Where's that Chronosphere? Hanging on to it for now. Queen of Pain, no buyback. And Chuan will skate away, so they didn't use any of their ultimate Sunstrike.
Oh.
Almost exterminated the Chuan. That was about as terrible a fight as you're ever going to see for Newbee. Really
Absolutely.
good disruption by the Earth Spirit, messing up their initiation. And I mean, good news for Newbee, they didn't waste any ultimates. They still have Queen of Pain ult, they still have the Void ult, the Skywrath ult, and the Lion ult, so they can go right back and look for kills.
Definitely. But still, it's great that CDEC are able to really rally in that position. They have 2 great in-your-face heroes between the Earth Spirit and the Clockwork, and just being able to turn that engagement is going to give this Medusa a little bit more space to build up her first item. With the Ring of Health, you would assume a Liquid Sphere. It's okay. Mana Drain will probably pop it more often than not, but it's still going to give her good stats to work with to stay alive.
I like that build. I think that even if you do end up popping on a Mana Drain, that's still a spell that's going to be really important in the later stages of the game, and I guess it does end up going down to that low duration cooldown, but regardless, I mean, when are you not going to go Lincolns on Medusa? It's just such a great item.
I honestly think it's probably one of the most outdated builds.
Really?
Yeah. Like Yasha Scotty is so efficient in terms of your farm speed, and once you hit Scotty, you become nigh unkillable if they don't have consistent mana burn. So
Yeah,
I think Lincoln's is a very old build, and you definitely have to get value out of the it's kind of passive, but the unique component of it.
I'm not really a fan of it this game. Medusa's not mobile. Like, she's going to get caught by Chrono by... Oh, blink away. They almost managed to get the Queen of Pain. Not quite. And I think we just got the hookshot animation after she blinked away, so that was cool. I mean, like, yeah, you block the Lion initiation. She's still not running away from you anyway. And at that point, the Void can just jump in with the Chrono. They have tons of nuke damage. They don't need to auto-attack her, really, in the early to mid-game. I'm not convinced it's really going to save her life against a full commitment from Newbee. And
No Troll ulti here. That's not going to be a kill.
no mana for it. How often does Troll not have mana for any of his spells?
Oh,
But Hao gets it done.
Sonic Wave.
Nicely done. Yeah, I don't think Lincoln's is that great of a build this game.
So we just used Chronosphere, Sonic Wave, 2 pretty significant cooldowns at this stage in the game, and just for the Vengeful Spirit. Do you consider that worth it?
What?
Just the fact that they had to use Chronosphere and Sonic Wave just to kill Avenge.
I don't see CDEC really grouping and 5-manning a lot, so I think using big ults to get solo kills is fine. If they were running like one of those, like, you know, Team Spirit style strats out of Europe where it's very push oriented, very 5-man oriented, probably not, but I think given the matchup you can get away with it. So it's not ideal, but it's not terrible.
And there's the hook shot on in. They're going to be able to get the Earth Spike. He does have Finger, but Invoker's here as well, and that's going to definitely be a kill. I kind of agree with you. The one thing that I'll also say about it is that they were at a little bit of a precarious point. That was their 4th kill at that point, and it felt like Newbee were kind of rolling through them consistently. They probably would have rather been able to find the Medusa with it, but I think they're pretty happy finding the Venge regardless.
They just want to start getting kills, and every time the ults are ready, that's the goal. So it looks like Mu has gone into a Dominator. We have not really talked at all about the Troll aside from not having mana the one time. They rolled onto Hal. It looks like they couldn't get the silence before he blinked out, and so he will be able to escape. But yeah, with the Troll, there's always that Roshan threat. Something to keep an eye on is when he tries to make his way in. Jumping on the top lane, though, they are going to isolate Hal. And they get him down. Looks like the Earth Spirit silence was there, but the turn comes, committing the Finger for that. Still a quap for an Earth Spirit. You're very happy. Plus, you force out multiple TPs on the side of Newbee. Troll showing mid. Our production team is losing their minds over in the nest. I can hear them cackling from all the way across the house, so I can only imagine what's going on over there.
It's the sound of a deranged madman is what it is in the back room.
That's the sound of Perfect World.
That's what it does to you.
Don't do Perfect World, kids.
Well, Ultimate Orb now online, as well as that Perseverance. Medusa, maybe a little bit. Oh my god, that's a 15-minute Blink Dagger. That's pretty good.
He's only got boots, so he like literally went brown boots, Blink. I was like, oh, he could go for Tranquils and Magic Wand, and then I realized he's got 1,500 gold. Chuan's not going for any intermediary items. He's just gonna go straight Blink and see what he can do with it.
Chuan is possibly I think top 5 greediest supports in the world as far as getting his first big item. Like, he doesn't necessarily play like hardcore farmer, but he's always going to get his Blink, his Force Staff, his one big early item that lets him make plays.
Would you say he's hungry for it?
Yes, I would. He is famished.
Oh, Chuan, blinking on in and making things happen. They're grouped up as 5 now, all behind this Medusa, maybe trying to bait it out, and with no Queen of Pain, if anybody shows up to that lane, could be a bit of an issue.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Just slowly pushing the lane in, but you see the smoke gank coming from Newbee there. Or actually not smoke gank, just a parade up the river. No subtlety required. Brute Force is going to get it done.
Hey, no word in that position. The Rocket Flare will come through, but at this point, it's very clear that both teams have chosen their sides of the map. It's going to be the Tier 1 top taken down by for the Radiant, and then the Tier 1 bottom for the Dire.
Can confirm Zoom function is working.
Yeah. Got to catch them all.
Pokemon. I love that song. 6 and 6, pushing for more. Queen of Pain's alone there. We do have Stone Gaze up now, and
I actually don't. He's had it for a long time, but he just hasn't used it. Like that bottom fight was completely unnecessary. So just held on to it.
I think they're going to try and defend this. The Blink is visible now, but Tule's coming from the side of the fight. He doesn't really have a good chrono opportunity, though. Nice spread from the Avengers.
so something else here with Stone Gaze being up. Is there a little bit of dichotomy there with the magical damage that's going to be coming out from Invoker, or does that not really matter in your opinion?
It's all about timing. I mean, I would say it has more issue with the Earth Spirit Ultimate, the Magnetized, because that's going to be consistently going. I could say you could drop a Meteor after the Stone Gaze is over, Meteor or Deafening Blast, set yourself up on those petrified targets and hit it right when it ends. But the Magnetize has more issue with it. Overall, I still think if you can petrify people. Don't hesitate just because of one potential source of damage.
Okay.
All right. We're back to Vlad Cam.
Ooh, going in.
Hookshot going to connect. They're going to be able to get the cogs. Mystic Flare down as well. There's the Chrono, though, on the other side of it. Is going to be able to catch 2, but not really a whole heck of a lot of follow-up damage as they're still chasing. They are able to get the Magnetize down. Right-clicks onto Chuan. He is going to fall. The birds are flying from the Skywrath Mage, but I think that he's going to fall as well. Sonic Wave onto 3. No follow-up, though. They don't really have enough to kill him, and so far it is just the Clockwork for the 2 supports.
And they used all their ults for Newbee. That's a big win for Avengers.
And they can still probably take the Tier 2 tower. Oh, Queen of Pain gets hit by the stun. Do they get the silence? Yes, she will be geo-gripped. She will be cold snapped, and she will be killed. And a glyph also wasted for no apparent reason.
That's really odd right there. I mean, I guess that now they can just go back for another tower if they wanted to at this point. All the ults are still down.
These are long cooldowns, so whether they go for a tower, go for a smoke gank, this is definitely an opportunity for Avengers to get aggressive, drop some deep wards. Also Invoker just completing the Orchid, and with that, the Void is much easier to deal with. Still relatively squishy. Skywrath is food, Lion is food, if caught by the Invoker on their own. And Queen of Pain, it's just going to come down to the quick draw. Who gets the Orchid off in time. We'll see the tower dropping mid, Radiant.
After the glyph, they
Grabbing that.
just get it for free.
Yep. I mean, I guess the glyph doesn't matter that much anyways. They would have taken the tower glyph or not, so...
Uh-oh, Invoker's running into Quap.
Yeah, could be close exchange here. Do they both have silence down?
They both do. They'll need a +1, but if
They'll probably just silence each other and just stare awkwardly into the distance.
Yeah, unless our Spirit shows up, and he is kind of in the neighborhood. They're showing the Dusa mid, which is a dead giveaway to Newbee that the whole team's behind her or in the neighborhood. Aside from the Invoker, it's a little bit bold to have 2 heroes and one of your most important ones in the Invoker not there, but it may pay off as Hal could be caught any moment now. Just hoping he steps out a little bit further. Chuan has arrived, but relatively low on mana.
Looking for the initiation range. Oh, she's walking into the jungle now. I think this is when they go for it. Venge is also moving on in. They get the Orchid. There's going to be the Cold Snap as well. Wave of Terror coming through. Right click's going to do that much more damage. And they get the grip, and that's going to be the kill. Well played there. So the Invoker picks it up.
I like the way they went for that. They show the Deuce mid. Oh, the Chrono has been dropped, and CDEC.A not out of the woods just yet. Mystic Flare coming down, but there's the swamp, keeping Spotty alive for now. Very nicely done. They kick through onto Tule. They're going to finish him off. That's 2 down, and another big Void ultimate committed for no real return whatsoever. Newbee just not able to get enough mileage out of their ultimates. I think they have to start playing a little more scrappy and defensively because these head-on collisions are just not paying off.
And what does this troll really accomplish this game? I'm trying. Like, obviously he's survivable in the sense that he didn't go down in the mid to the 2v1 plays, but there are a dozen heroes that could fill that same exact role, and so far not even the ultimate has really come into play.
He didn't shut down Invoker. He actually needed help mid just to stay even. He's been farming the whole game. Big thing with Troll is often trying to sneak the Roshan, and I guess he's going to go for it now, but I don't think Avengers are giving this up. You already see Deuce mid lane, Clockwork's TPing, Venge is TP'd. They are going to converge, so this will need to be a quick and decisive Roshan. Let's see if we get there in time. Troll ultimate committed. The Alpha Wolf is there, but they've already started their initiation. Victoria into the pit. The Deuce ult comes out immediately, and Newbee are walking right into it. Chuan is going to be brought down. Looks like they're going to get a double kill as the Troll also falls, and the Roche is low enough that they can take it. Newbee just assuming Avengers will let them have the Roche simply because the Invoker was spotted top. That was a super greedy play. No chrono, no real way to disengage if they got caught, and Avengers call their bluff and completely smack them down.
I think they're getting a little bit desperate. Newbee need something to work for them. They need to play to the Troll strengths and to actually get some value out of the picks. So doing things like he's been farming Ancients every single time they spawn, but now he wanted to go for something a little bit bigger. The Roshan, it feels like it's a play that they feel they have to make to try to bring this game back because of how behind they really are.
I do agree with you though. Like the Troll has not paid off at all. He's the highest in net worth. I feel like he's had the least impact on the team.
Oh man, and now going to be able to get a couple more right clicks. It does
close.
look like he's alive.
Rocket Flare.
But they get another tower. They are pushing and I wouldn't say quite ready to end the game, but definitely controlling the game at 23 minutes with a Deuce.
Yeah.
Like how often do you see...
Oh, he dodges both. Nice movement from Lei.
Still. The big plays for Newbee right now are not feeding. The big plays for CDEC Avengers are taking massive objectives. Roshan, tier 2s, hero kills, whatever they want. So it's a silver lining, but it is only very slight.
I mean, at this point also, like, Lincoln's Manta completed, so even the Orchid isn't going to be an issue anymore. Although I guess it does pop the Lincolns for him if they wanted to do it that way. But regardless, she's always going to be able to get off Stone Gaze, and to me at least, it feels like the window, like you were talking earlier about using the Troll ulti while you're in Chronosphere to be able to find a kill. That didn't end up happening, and then since they ended up using Chronosphere, they had to go for something else, and it doesn't feel like they have what it takes right now. They need to make another play with all of their ultimates up online, and Troll has to be there for them to be able to get back in this game. I think they can do it because that's just the nature of their draft is big wombo combo, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah. If there's a way back into this game, it's about on the back of the Chuan's Blink Dagger play and huge Chronospheres.
I mean, that even if they hit that, though, the Avengers of Aegis. Aegis is basically the counter to mass wombo combo, as you put it. Like, it's the reason why teams pick Wraith King to deal with these, big 5-man AoE ultimates. It doesn't matter if you hit everything and kill the Deuce if she's coming right back for round 2. And everyone else can just sit behind her. And Avengers, I think, rolling this lineup perfectly are going to press the issue, try to punish Newbee, force out the ults. Even if they lose the Aegis, don't take racks, Newbee will then have to sit in their base. They can drop aggressive wards. They can farm their jungle. Putting pressure right now is the play for Avengers.
And Troll's not even split pushing. He's farming Ancients while the Queen of Pain split pushes. And I guess maybe she can blink back in case they rotate bottom. But they're not going to rotate bottom. They're going to take the racks.
It doesn't really feel like there's going to be anything stopping them at this point in time. Troll goes forward. They are going to be able to get the blink forward. Alacrity down also. They have a lot of damage coming out from the Skywrath, but regardless, it's ridiculous right now. That Alacrity up on the Medusa is too strong.
I mean, Moo can't even really trade blows with her as the hook comes in, drills Moo, but immediately does get silenced up by Lei. Nicely done. There's the kick. The Void getting the blunt end of the silences and will end up going down. And there's no buyback on Void. This could be Rax, maybe even game. There's no tier 2s mid or bottom. At the very least, they're getting this tower, probably the Rax as well. I'm not sure what Newbee can really do about it. Sure, all the ults are up, but they're so far behind.
They have to try, though. If they lose this top lane of Rax, it might as well be good game from CDEC's perspective. Like, they have so much going for them, but...
How do you engage? You can't go on the Dusa. You can't ignore the Dusa. Rock in a hard place. Well, it looks like they managed to pop her mana, but she's still got an Urn Charge. Already buying components for a Butterfly here. Not too far off of that Eagle Song.
And they're spreading really well, too. They're not going to get caught out by all of it at once. Alacrity'd up, too, means that she comes online that much quicker. They are going to be able to get out the damage. Medusa down. They need to be careful now of the Chronosphere.
Oh, the Tornado does snipe Chuan on the retreat out, though. That's really big. And Flyby stands strong in the front lines as they jump in with the Clockwork. I believe that was a secondary hook shot as the fight continues. Chrono got the Medusa, boys! Oh, just kidding. We can't actually kill her. Disastrous defense by Newbee. Now with the ult down on the Void, might as well be dead. Avengers, I don't know if they have to go mid at this point, but they quite probably could. That is a big death.
Huge. Yeah, I mean, you're literally just putting her in a bubble. You're just sending her to timeout. You're not actually accomplishing anything in the fight. They take the melee racks, they walk away happy, and at this point, Newbee are just trying to think of what went wrong. Like, it's hard to even push forward in this position and say, okay, let's do this, this, and this. If they have, like, a plan to get back into this game, it's like a 10-step plan that involves CDEC.A throwing quite a bit.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like anything's going to be easy, and there's no one item for anybody.
It's hard to throw when your carry's Medusa.
Yeah, it's like, but she's going to have a Butterfly in like 2 minutes.
That hero has insurance policies on her insurance policies. There's always a plan B, C, D, and E.
And R.
Why is R the next one?
Rapier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's going to be the silence out as well. BKB and
is that a
going to die this
10-second
time.
BKB?
Yeah, she literally got it. It's the pop-up is still in the corner when she starts glowing with it. Comes fresh off the courier, immediately pops BKB just to try and survive. It would be icing on the cake if she got sunstruck in the fountain.
Oh, poor Queen
I
of Pain.
believe the exhort's very low level.
Yeah, it's like 2.
Oh my goodness.
Would have been the. I feel like you almost rage quit at that point. Just got my 10-second BKB. Died of sunstrike in the fountain. I'm just not sure what Newbee do at this point. I really think even with the perfect combo in a team fight, they're not going to win. So pickoffs sound good, but that's a mechanism up on Victoria, and Moo not able to finish the kill. Now the hook shot comes through, going for the big solo plays, getting nothing. Dead for a minute, has the buyback. Does not want to be using it, but may not have. I think he doesn't have to buy back here, but now, again, Avengers can get active with the aggressive wards, set up for the next Roshan, which shouldn't be too far off.
Why was he there?
He was trying to just go for a quick solo pick. Just do something.
He has a ward in the Radiant jungle, so he thought it was relatively safe, and he's at a point where he has to do something. Like, he's been farming all game, not putting any pressure on the map, so he's getting a little frustrated. Well, not even frustrated. Desperate is probably the better word.
I mean, that's been the last, like, 5 plays from Newbee seem to be full of desperation. They realize what this Medusa can accomplish as each minute goes by, and they just are looking for any way out. And that means making questionable decisions just to try to find the maximum risk-reward.
That's fair enough. I guess it does seem reasonable that if you need to be able to make some type of play happen, when it doesn't go good, it's going to look really bad. But regardless, another slow siege as the Butterfly is completed at 28 minutes. And
they have no answers for that either. Well, the good news is, guys, you don't really need all your frames to know what's happening. Dusa is just sitting in the mid lane, being invincible, and right-clicking the tower.
Flank with the smoke?
Chrono, this is a big one, but there is a swamp ready, it looks like, for September. He gets Victoria out of there. Can he turn this one around? The Greaves come out. That could completely change the course of the fight, and it looks like it has. 2 have fallen. Make it 3 with the Lion dropping. And yeah, by the way, there's a Deuce in this game. Literally unscathed. Just calmly sieging up on the high ground. Well, it was almost the dream Chrono, but needed to get the Venge as well. Instead, the Greaves get popped, and that was the fight.
Yep.
GG. Avengers do it with a dirty, dirty Medusa pick, as well as the Earth Spirit and Invoker. Do you guys feel like this was an outdraft, or was this sort of a byproduct of not having enough pressure on the safe lane? Maybe the troll pick you need to reconsider?
Like when we talk outdraft, we usually talk about how amazingly well one team drafted. The captain had a lot of foresight and really put a well-drafted team together. I think this was an above-average draft from CDEC Avengers, but it wasn't like game-winning just by that. I feel that Newbee played around it wrong. They drafted around it a little awkwardly. They didn't accomplish what they meant to do early on with the Void or the Troll Warlord, and it just kind of fell to pieces by itself. It was a draft win for CDEC Avengers, but mostly because of how Newbee failed to accomplish their own objectives.
Yeah, I would pretty much agree with that. If you go back to where things started to fall apart, it was that first time when they tried to make a move with the Queen of Pain and the Void, and the whole fight just crumbled. They didn't get off the key ultimates in time, and if that goes the other way and Newbee hit their combo when it's a relatively early game, they kill the Medusa, they slow down her item progression, they snowball a bit earlier. Instead, they went again bottom, and that time they used Chrono and the Queen of Pain ult just to get Avenge. Better than nothing, but ultimately wasn't the Medusa kill that they were hoping for. So I don't think it was a draft loss, but with that draft, you need to make your first ults count, and it just took too long for them to use them.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be back in just a second or two with Game 2. Hopefully, we'll be able to maybe make some magic happen and praise the internet gods enough that they'll be able to let us, the servers, stay stable over there in the perfect world. And until then, we're going to be doing some Dame Arigato, Mr. Roboto Blaze.
Just lagging out here. hopefully it smooths out here. Chinese
Kel
Dota,
sucks.
it happens.
Kel
but
is shit.
Yeah,
As a
exactly.
food and as a lag. We hate it both ways.
It's proof. It's undisputable proof.
Apparently. Well, we'll be back in just a second. See you guys in a bit more action with Shanghai, China qualifiers. See you in a few.